This newbie here, and we're going to continue our wood joint talk. And we talked about the first 6 wood joints, which was the butt joint, the rabbet joint, the dado joint, the groove joint, the lap joint, and the mortise and tenon joint. And now we're going to continue with the next 6. So number 7 on wood joints is this one. This is called a miter joint. Miter because it's cut at an angle. We went over wood terminology and we talked about whenever we cut an angle, that's called a miter. So we take 2 pieces on this and we cut them at an angle and then we put them together. Okay? So what's a miter used for? Well, miters are used for, if you can build a picture frame, you want to 45 the corners to make a frame. You're trimming out around a window or a door in a house, you cut miters for that. What miters do is they hide end grain. So this is the end grain. We learned about that when we went over the terminology of a board. And over here, that's the edge grain, and that's the edge grain. So you don't have that issue of the end grain. Nothing wrong with end grain, but it does stain darker, and it soaks up a lot of paint and other things. So it's for looks. A miter looks clean and nice, especially a really tight 45-degree miter. So miter joint, it's not very strong. Okay, it's nothing more than a butt joint at an angle, but it's usually attached to something to make it stronger. So a miter joint, it's used to frame things. It's used to go around corners, 45 around a corner on a project. And it's used to hide that end grain. If we don't want to see that end grain, we can miter it. Okay? So that is the miter. Number 8 on our list is the box joint. Here's a box. If you look at the corners, you see that little checkerboard pattern? That is made with a box joint, okay? And the box joint, you cut these notches and you fit it together, and the dark spot is the end grain, and the lighter spot is the face grain. And when you put it together, it makes a very strong corner, but it's also, these are one of those that's made for looks. You can see that the look here, get that checkerboard pattern. So it's a strong wood joint, usually used in making boxes, and it gives you that look. Okay, takes a little time to do, that's a lot of cuts, but it's worth it. You have a nice looking project when you're done. Okay, so box joint. Okay, used to strengthen a corner. It's also used for looks. Number 9 is a dovetail joint. Dovetail joint looks like this. That's a dovetail. You see how they slope? Turn around this way. They slope at an angle going up over here, kind of like the bird's tail on a bird, a mockingbird, blue jay, dove, has that look, blackbird. So that's how it got its name. A dovetail is a sign of quality, and it's found a lot in drawers and antique furniture. Craftsmen took a lot of time to make dovetails by hand. Now we have machines that do them, okay? So if you're building a box or a drawer, this is parts to a drawer. This can go together like that, okay? And I can push it down, and you can see how it's going together. It's not quite flush. I have to hammer it in with some glue if I don't want to take it apart. And it's another wood joint that is made for looks. It's a sign of quality, okay? And it's used to strengthen corners, drawers, boxes, stuff like that. So the dovetail joint, okay? Dovetail joint. Dovetail, unlike a box joint we could take apart either way. This one can only come apart one way. That can only come up. You can't pull that out because of those angles. Okay? What's this? Groove for the drawer bottom. Number 10 on the list is this one. This is called a pocket hole joint. Those holes in that board right there are pocket holes. And we have a machine that will do it with a drill by hand, and then we have a machine that will automatically do it by stepping on a foot pedal. So pocket holes are used to make a butt joint stronger. Remember our butt joint, joining 2 pieces together? Well, if you want to make it stronger, on the back side you drill these pocket holes and you put screws in it, and that makes a stronger butt joint. These are usually used for one-sided projects. Okay, we don't want to see this, but this isn't so bad. It's got a dark spot on the wood, but this is a one-sided project, okay, where you're going to see this side, we're not going to see that side. We don't want to see the pocket holes. These pocket holes were done on the machine, the automatic machine, This was done with the jig with the drill that you use. Okay, so pocket hole used to make a butt joint stronger. Screws, not nails. Number 11 is a biscuit joint. This is a biscuit. Looks like a little football. It is a compressed piece of wood, cut at this shape. You use a machine called a biscuit joiner, and it'll make this little slot in here, and then you could do a slot on the end of another piece, put glue in there, put the biscuit in there, okay? And then you put this together, and you clamp it, and when it dries, the moisture of the glue causes that compressed piece of wood to swell up. It's really strong, okay? And unlike the pocket hole, the biscuit joint you can use for two-sided projects because you don't see anything on either side. So a biscuit is also used to make a butt joint stronger, okay? And you would use a biscuit joint where you're going to have a two-sided project, okay? So biscuit joint. Okay. Our 12th wood joint is called a glue edge joint. It's where you take two pieces of wood and you glue them together. This is glued together. It's hard to tell. You can kind of see the seam right there. Okay. So we would need the boards to be wider because they don't come this wide. If you want a board that wide, you have to glue pieces together. You're taking two pieces like this, glue them together to get a wider board. So a glue edge joint, we put glue, put it together, clamp it together. Once it dries, it's a strong joint. This is one that was glued together, okay? If we're doing a really long piece, you may want to use the biscuit joiner, put some biscuits in here, not really to add strength, but when you go to put it together, those biscuits will line this up and keep this flush, okay? So glue edge joint. It's used to make boards wider, not longer. Can't make boards longer, that doesn't work. Well, there is another joint that does that, but we don't use it here in the shop. So glue edge joint used to make boards wider. So that's our 12 wood joints that we use here in the shop quite a bit through the years. And there's other joints, and occasionally we'll get into one when needed. But I just want to teach you the basics and the most common ones, and there they are. So this ends the second video on wood joints. And with that said, newbie out.